Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome back to Greenwich Valley with Seasons. It is the middle of summer. No, it's late summer. It's late summer. It's the 5th day of a 6-day season, and we are getting ready to harvest. Some good things happened off camera. Some good things happened. So there are our animals. You can see they're making a ton of manure, and we're going to need to figure out something to do with all this manure. So they're healthy. They haven't made any milk yet, but I got a comment from somebody saying that with seasons, the cows will not make milk until they calve, which will be next spring. So for now, we're just taking care of them, and they are making plenty of fertilizer for us, but they're not making milk, and I guess that will start next spring. On the map, if we are over here on our west side farm, we've got one crop, one wheat crop ready to harvest, one not ready to harvest. Had to kind of make a decision about that, but I'll tell you what influenced our decision momentarily. We'll slide over here to the dairy on the east. Our grass that we took a chance on, you remember we mowed our grass early in the season. We did not let it get to second growth stage. And I wanted to get that grass out of the field so that we could get it fertilized and hope for a second cut. We will get a second cut. We are in second growth stage, and this grass is triple fertilized and weeded and limed and everything else. We didn't plow it because you can't plow. Well, I mean, you can plow grass fields, but then you need to reseed them. Maybe we'll do that another time, but that would give us another 10% buff. But primarily, we have all the fertilizer on it. We do have lime on them, so we're going to have a massive second cut. And because we're going to have a massive second cut of grass, I decided let's go ahead and harvest this wheat today. And here's another menu. Seasons. I love it, but it does make things complicated. It's been raining all summer. It rained for the rest of spring. It rained all summer. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday, and it's supposed to rain again. Now, we will have some time. I mean, maybe right around dawn, it would be dry enough to bring this wheat in, but then it's going to rain again. You see what I mean? There's a lot of rain. So we will need to rent. I rented this combine harvester. It's the littlest one. It was, I believe, $7,000 for both, for the combine itself and for the header. I want to say it was $7,000. We own everything else. We had to rent the baler, but that was like €1,000. Bottom line, we have a window in which to harvest, and it's like with the grass. You know, I would like to be able to do everything as economically as possible and only rent one time, or certainly not keep this thing overnight. That would be ridiculous, but I would love to only rent one time. I assume that we will make, between the wheat itself and the straw bales that we're going to sell. Oh no, we can't sell straw bales. Moment, you set the brake. Yeah, we can't. You can't sell straw with seasons. Yeah, $0. Okay, so we're keeping all these straw bales, and in hindsight, maybe we should have planted canola or something. Planted wheat. You remember we planted wheat. I planted wheat. I'm not going to blame it on you. I planted wheat. There was no we involved. I planted wheat so that we would have straw for our cows. Found out afterwards you don't necessarily need straw for the cows. You can let them go without, and they'll produce liquid slurry rather than hard manure. So, yep, that's living and learning. I mean, I think we'll do okay. We may not pay a lot of our loan this year. A lot of our loan. Did I say that right? Yeah, we may not pay off a lot of our loan, but we'll survive. We will make it, and that's a good thing. So, let's get this open. Well, that's what I said. Unfold it. And I'm going to turn my headset down a little bit. It's super loud. If you're into gaming, you know how tricky it is to get all your games at the same volume so that no matter what game you boot up, right, you don't have to adjust your headset. I'm constantly adjusting my headset. And let's confirm that we are making a straw swath. Disable straw swath. Okay, so we will be making one. Okay. So I think other than that, we'll slow down the cruise control. And what I will do most likely is make one headland, and then we'll hop in our JCB, bring the trailer over here and get this thing emptied and go from there. Right, so we're going to turn it on. We do have the manual header drop mod installed, which I really like. So we'll come up here a little bit, get her kind of positioned, and here we go. Beautiful. This is the first time we've harvested anything in forever. Not just on this map, but in this sim. I know when Greenwich first came out, when Greenwich first came out, I think I got us all the way to fall, right? And there was no season, so fall is whatever we say it is. But I got us all the way to fall. I got everything baled up, and I thought right after Greenwich, well, you know this whole story. I thought it would be converted to seasons fairly quickly, and we would just pick up right where we left off, and then there was like a 3-month gap. So we haven't harvested anything on Greenwich for months. But I don't think we've harvested anything on Gazelsberg really recently as well. We've been focused almost exclusively on grass. So yeah, it's been a while since we brought a harvest in. An arable harvest. We brought a grass harvest in. It's not the same though. It's not the same, you know what I mean? Farming is, to me, it's this. This is what you see, or this is what I saw. I don't really get out in farm country anymore, but this is what I saw when I was a kid growing up in Pennsylvania. I saw this sort of thing in the fall, and I am doing my best to keep the camera sort of not bouncing. Oh, pretty sharp turn to make in a combine harvester. I'm told that and there's a specific name for those, not openers, the little spiky bits on the end of the header. Those sort of go between the rows, and to make a turn like that, you would mess things up. It's nothing that wouldn't sort itself out in the next, I don't know, 20 or 30 feet as you continued harvesting, but you would definitely lose some crop on the corner there if you made a turn like that. I know, not entirely realistic, but we do our best. Right, so we'll make another somewhat dodgy turn. Right, like so. All right, like so. And we're over 50%. I assume we'll be able to finish this headland, but we'll need to bring our trailer over sooner rather than later and get this thing emptied. And then what I may do, so we can bail the headland now, so that we won't be driving back and forth over our row. Or we can drive back and forth over our row and know that we won't be bumping into bales. And neither is a perfect solution. I mean, ideally, I think unless you were a very antisocial and disagreeable farmer, I assume you would have some people helping you on, right? They'd be helping out with you. First day of harvest, you would have a crew. So I imagine you'd have somebody baling and somebody stacking and somebody driving the grain cart, etc. Unless, like I said, you're just an absolute curmudgeon and nobody wants to hang out with you. Seems to be the case. Denzel will always hang out with us here on the farm. And in fact, we're going to put him in this combine harvester once we get it emptied, and then we can do some other things. So yeah, I'm pleased with the way the farm is going. Like I said, we're not going to get rich anytime soon, but I believe we will survive. And if we absolutely had to, we could even sell the JCB, because the T-Dub can do everything the JCB does, and we're never going to have front and rear mowers, right? We're never going to have a center mower on the front, butterfly on the back, and we would need the JCB horsepower for that. But I don't think we're ever going to do that. So yeah, with the trailed mower, I believe we could get by without the JCB. I think we could. So in a pinch, if we had to, we could sell that thing. But I don't think we're going to have to. I think we're going to make it. And I think, right, oh, there you go. I was just reaching for the other way, son. Other way. I was just reaching for the off switch at that moment. And in fact, let's back up in here just to make things a little easier. All right, right about there. Don't run anything over. All right, put her in gear. Set the brake. Pipe is out. Pipe is out, I said. Really? Pipe is out. I'll remember the key combo. With enough, you know what I mean? Try enough combos, you'll hit the one you want. All right, so we go back here. This trailer is arguably a little too big, but maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, obviously we'll only have to make one trip because I don't think we're going to fill this thing. It's, what, 24,000 liters? You know I don't check. I just buy what I like. Could be a reason why we're broke all the time. Right. So that does clear. That's something I do worry about, though, is when I'm starting a small farm and I have that very small combine harvester. I do worry about the pipe clearing. But that one makes it just fine. No problem there. Where can we put this thing where it won't be in the way but still handy to the field? How about, yeah, I got a spot in mind. So we will have to rent this thing again. This combine harvester, we will have to rent it again. It won't be tomorrow. It will be first day of fall because everything goes in thirds. So we're in the third of summer right now, and the crops will not grow again until the third after that, the following third, which will be the first third of autumn, first third of fall. Let's put this right over here, just so it's definitely out of the way. Right over here. Yeah, Denzel can pull up under this tree, read his newspaper, as you do. Right, and that thing is at exactly 20%. We can fill it another 4 times. I don't know. We may do better than I give myself credit for, because if the headland is 20% of that trailer, that's like saying the entire rest of this field will be no more than 4 more headlands. I think we're going to get a couple trailers out of this field. Fantastic. And we do have a silo, so we don't have to sell this straight away. We've got 50 grand in the bank account. Right? We're keeping the lights turned on. So we could bank this crop and wait for it to have a better price before we sell it. And I think we should, actually. Right? We don't need the cash straight away. Okay. Let's think about that. So we'll go right over here. And let me check something before we go any further. If we do this, and we look at, right over here, tap, tap. This thing is 4 meters. Okay. So then if we go here, right, and make this 4 meters, and bring this down, right there, there, and there. Everything else is good. Everything else is good. So now we have 4 meter width set for our GPS. This combine harvester wouldn't have GPS. I mean, you could retrofit it, you know, but that's, I don't know. I suppose that's not unrealistic, right? Shoot, you could just take your smartphone and hold it on your lap and probably, hang on, concentrating. No, I guess that wouldn't work because it's not you. It's not you that needs to have the direction. It's your vehicle, and it needs to be pretty precise. So I take that back. I don't think you could do that. But I'm guessing you could have something retrofitted. Right? So we are on 270. Is that right? That's right. So we'll lower that. God, this thing is loud. We'll lower that. Here we go. We'll square off the edge of this field here. We will need to drive on our road just a little bit, but we'll get a nice square field going for our worker so they can, you know what I mean, struggle less. And certainly we do need to cut a headland in or they will get all bound up in the trees. So we'll do this, yeah. Then we'll go across the top there and take as much volume off as we can, then come back down the other side straight. And I think at that point we might be ready to put this on a worker. And we'll hop in the, we'll hop in the JCB one more time. We'll empty again. And then we'll hop in the Ford and start doing some baling. And I may, maybe we'll just bale the lengths and leave the row at the top and bottom of the field. So the combine harvester will be driving over the row, but we'll be getting some bales put up in the meantime. I don't know. I mean, how bad is it to drive over a straw swath? Is that the end of the world? Is that really bad? Or is that just like, yeah, you know, it happens. It's not a big deal. Because you are going to use it for bedding. Primarily, you can, yeah, that's a real thing. You can use straw to bulk up food a little bit, can you? Yeah, I think you can. But primarily for bedding. So, if it's driven over a little bit, does that impact the quality of it in any kind of meaningful way that would take away from the productivity of your cows? It's a serious question. I mean, there are so many serious things in seasons. Even something like, you know, the cows don't make milk until they calve. I love stuff like that, man. I love it. I also realized I was able to weed or to spray herbicide on one of our grass fields, and it took it. Took it. But the other one, it did not. And what I realized is because we fertilized one on one day, and then we fertilized the other one on the other day, as it grew. See, this is what I'm realizing about, I guess it's seasons, but it's also base game in a way. I'm realizing that you can't do two things to a field before it changes. It will only allow you to do one thing. So if you fertilize, right, and we sort of learned this on Gazelsberg the other day, if you fertilize, you've changed the color of the field. Well, you've changed the color of the soil under the field. But I guess that's the visual indication that you've done something, right? So we're going to lower, set the cruise control. There we go. That's the visual indication that you've done something to that field. And I feel like it only lets you do one thing. And I don't know if that's real or not. I don't know if you can, for lack of a better word, if you can stack herbicide on top of fertilizer. I mean, in a way, I don't think you'd want to, because crops are in their own way sort of fragile. Plants in general. I know that. I got a little garden. I got a little herb garden on my deck right now, my balcony. So you do need to be sort of careful with plants. They're not, you know, they're hardy, but they're not that hardy. So I don't know if putting that many chemicals on a plant, and really a crop is just a plant, I don't know if that's something that they tolerate well, or if they need a little, you know what I mean? Like they need a little, give me some time to process, son. Let me get my wits about me. You can't just dump chemicals on, even organic chemicals, I guess, something like hard manure. You gotta let it soak in a little bit. So perhaps that is realistic, but I know we were able to go back and spray herbicide on the one grass field, but when I tried to spray it on the other, it would not allow it to apply. And when I waited until it had gone into the next growth stage, it was still green. It had not, yeah, it hadn't matured yet, but I feel like there's a very narrow window to spray herbicide. I think the window is slightly wider if you want to use the actual weeder, but for spraying herbicide, I think you get like one day. There's like one afternoon when you can spray herbicide, and if you don't get it on there in that window, there's whatever weeds there are in that field, they're there for good. So we'll see. Now, I also, like I said, it rained all of spring. I swear it rained like every day during the spring, and it rained a bit during the summer as well. So when we hop out here, how do I want to do this? Well, first I want to lift the header. I want to turn that off. And then, and again, from what I understand, during harvest, hang on, let me get back up here. During harvest, the combine harvester sort of does its own thing, and the trailers work around it. It's not, the combine harvester does not go to the trailer goes to the combine harvester. So what I am doing right now is probably not any type of appropriate technique. But, what was I saying? Oh, rain. In fact, yeah, let's set the brake and I can show you right now. It rained, we'll go over here in our crop. It rained so much. We've got still 13% moisture in the crop and 9% moisture in the soil. So no worries about drought, but I don't know if that's a binary thing where you either have drought damage because there was not enough rain or you do not, or whether there's a scale of yield over and above simply not being in drought. Did I explain that right? Did I ask that question right? You see what I'm saying? Does drought take away from your yield, but excess moisture does not add to it? Yeah, I think I said that right. So we got a straight shot here. I think we're looking good. So we want to do this. I'm going to go here. A dumb worker who's going to make a left turn and do straight rows. I think we're okay there. So we go here. And we go here. All right. There goes Denzel. He's got his beats on. All right. He's got his Gatorade. He's good to go. So we'll wander over here. We'll grab our T-dub. And you know what? Actually, we can take the top and bottom row. Yeah, we can. I was thinking that we would want to leave that so that we weren't inadvertently dropping bales in front of where our combine harvester would want to turn. But we've got a round baler with manual drop, so we can take these bales wherever we want them before we drop them. Okay, okay. So that works. So we'll hop in here. We'll fire this up. And that being the case, okay, that being the case, we actually want to take the top and bottom swath first. Yeah, because the rows on the side aren't anything that the combine would be driving over. Yeah, okay. Oi, this is a bumpy map. Okay, so this is making sense now. I'm starting to feel my rhythm. So we unfold. We come right here. Drop this cruise control down just a little bit. Turn it on. Here we go. Does that make sense, what I just said? I'm always asking you that. And it's half rhetorical because you can't answer. But also, I am genuinely curious. I understand that I have kind of an unusual presentation sometimes. And I want to make sure that the things that I'm saying and the reason that we're doing certain things on the farm, I actually want it to be realistic. I want it to make sense. So yeah, with this being a round baler, yeah, you get it. We can drop these bales wherever we want. And we will drop them someplace convenient so they're not in the way, but we can get rid of this straw swath top and bottom and not have that problem. I mean, I guess we're filling up pretty quickly. I don't know if the density for straw and grass and hay is the same with seasons as it is without. You're doing okay. Yeah, that alarm goes off and always surprises me. 100. There's 100. Okay. So if we lift the pickup for one thing, where do we want to put this? And how far do we want to back up? Let's do this. Let's go right here. And fortunately, we'll only have to do this a couple of times. Oh, the beeping. Sir? Yeah, let's drop it right over here in the corner. So, go here, right? There you go. Close that. Wait for Denzel to make his turn. And I have in the past used mods that tell you the status of other vehicles, and if we were using one right now, we'd be able to see how full that thing is. I mean, I guess we could sort of peek in the top there. I don't know. It did 2 lengths. 2 lengths plus 2 widths is just about 100%. So maybe, yeah, maybe you can make 2 more. Let's do this. Let's, because the pipe will be on the right side. Let's bale this row, and then we'll hop in the JCB and try to catch it coming back when the pipe is on the other side, and we'll empty it. Right, so lower the pickup. There we go. And we'll get this thing going again. And then I'll head up to the top of the field, what I think of as the top of the field, and do the same thing. And theoretically, yeah, Denzel will have plenty of room to work. All right. It's all coming together. All part of my plan. I'm kidding. I have no plan. I never have a plan. Somehow it works out, though. Right. So we'll get this going. Look over here. It's actually okay. There we go. 80%. Ah, too many things are happening at once. Lift the pickup. Get this backed up. And hopefully we can get to our guy before he's 100% full. Don't hit the barn. Don't crush any crop. He does still have to make a turn, though. Clip through the tree. All right. So we'll take this right over here. Drop that. Turn the baler off. Set the brake. Leave that running. Hop in the JCB. Brake is off. Here we go. I'm curious what the hired worker is going to do when it gets to that tree. Is that a tree? No, it's a power pole. What are they going to do when they get there? I suspect they're going to stop. It looks a little close. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. But at the very least, we can get this swung around. Oh, okay. Almost took him out. Almost. Straight out the game. Here we go. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like they're getting ready to stop and do something. So at the very least, where are we at? It's 28 minutes. Yeah, at the very least, we caught them in time. Oh, no. Okay, up in the corner it says they got a full grain tank. So we caught them like just in time, but I don't know if they're going to go straight. We'll get this emptied and then we'll see if they continue on or if they make a turn and head back to the top of the field. Either way, it's okay. We can just finish it up manually. I'm also, as I'm looking at all these rows, I'm also curious how many straw bales we're going to have and how long it's going to take. Oh, beautiful. Okay, it continues on. How long it's going to take to stack them all manually, which you know is not my favorite thing. Right, set the brake on the JCB, and let's call it. Yeah, there you go. I'll finish this up, and then next episode maybe we'll, well, we need to mow at some point because we've got that massive grass harvest coming up. So maybe we make some silage bales and some hay bales. Yeah, let's do that. There you go. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19. This is Greenwich Valley with Seasons, and we'll see you next time. Take care now.